welcome to Adaptation, where we talk about film adaptations and the original material they're based on. Or at least we normally do. I'm Kendall Bryant, and this week we are shifting our focus to banned books, and I'm going to try really hard not to get ranty while I throw a lot of information your way. Banned Books Week is September 27th to October 3rd, and it is about celebrating the freedom to read what you choose to read and your ability to access those books. It's no surprise really that the American Library Association is behind this celebration, because that's basically the point of libraries. Access to books for anyone who wants to read and learn. But this is where banning books has restrictive power. A challenge is an attempt to remove the material from an institution, and actually banning it is when it gets removed from the institution. We hear about this happening a lot with schools and school libraries, but I was actually surprised to find that 38% of challenges are to public libraries, which would restrict an entire community from reading the book. And you might be thinking, well, there's still bookstores, physical and digital, and you would be right, there are, but that would necessitate having the $15 to buy the book yourself, and that's not a luxury that everyone has. But I'm getting a little off focus already. The focus of this year's Banned Books Week is on young adult books because they get challenged more than any other kind of book. And that's really not that surprising considering the biggest reason given for trying to ban books is to protect children from their content. In 2014, 6 of the top 10 most challenged books were in the young adult category. To quote the chair of the Banned Books Committee, Judith Platt, "These are the books that speak most immediately to young people, dealing with many of the difficult issues that arise in their own lives or in the lives of their friends. These are the books that give young readers the ability to safely explore the sometimes scary real world. This Banned Books Week is a call to action to remind everyone that young people need to be allowed the freedom to read widely, to read books that are relevant for them, and to be able to make their own reading choices." And here is where I'm probably gonna fail at not getting ranty. There's a reason that we call them young adults, and it's because they've reached an age where they're capable of thinking deeply about what they read. Here are the top reasons that books were challenged in 2014 in order of prevalence. And I get it. There are things on this list that are difficult and uncomfortable. I mean, I don't want to read books that are racist or sexist, anti-ethnic, or, God forbid, inaccurate. Notice my issues are kind of towards the bottom of the list. But reading and thinking about these things opens up a larger and more complex discussion about them. And that's not a bad thing. Now let's focus a little bit on the part where Judith talked about the freedom to read books that are relevant to young people. Melinda Lowe at diversitynya.com analyzed the last 15 years of the most challenged books and found that 52% of them contained diverse content. That means that they either had primary or secondary characters that were non-white, LGBT, or disabled, or that they dealt with issues involving these groups. They could also have dealt with religious issues or taken place in a non-Western setting. In 2014, 8 of the top 10 most challenged books fit that description. And let's be honest here, we already have issues with diversity in most of the media that's widely available. The last thing that we need is to restrict access to books that provide teens, who are probably in the most trying stage of life, with characters that they can relate to or that will help them relate to others on a larger scale. So all of this is to say, let's celebrate Banned Books Week and the freedom to choose what books we read and allow others to have access to them as well. You can check out bannedbooksweek.org to see if there's an event in your area. Or, since you're already on YouTube, you could participate in the virtual readout and read from a book that has been banned or challenged and talk about why you are glad that you had access to it. Adaptation is going to be sharing our virtual readout videos all throughout Banned Books Week, which is September 27th to October 3rd, if you can't remember when I said it earlier. And if you do make a video, be sure to send us the link so that we can share yours as well. All of the ways that you can contact us are in the info section, as well as a bunch of links to information on Banned Books Week. Until next time, I'm still not ranting. But for goodness sake, just because you don't want to read something or you don't want your kids to be reading something doesn't mean that you should restrict the ability of other people to read it. Didn't you see Footloose? Who elected you to be the savior of everyone's souls in Beaumont? When you've burned all of these, what are you going to do then?